All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today is February 11th. This is going to be a trade recap, how I made my money today, how much I made, and let's go. Let's get right into it. So, starting off with last night, I had a bullish bias last night. We ended up taking out Asia lows and left these highs for Asia. So, this led me to believe we were in a New York reversal profile. Now we had news here at 6:30 or 8:30 depending on where you're at. We had that today. That ended up being bullish. So I'm waiting for my New York reversal. Now, on a day like this morning, when there's news pre market, I'm going to expect New York to be pretty choppy. So I'm going to wait for New York AM to open if I don't catch a trade pre market. I'm waiting for New York to open so I could so I could wait for it to build some structure here and then take my trade from there. So after seeing the news candles go up and be bullish, I drew a fib from the first 5 minute range that was created after London. That gave me my potential reversal areas. Now, after seeing that news was bullish, I'm just waiting for either 2.5, negative 2.5 here to get hit and see what reaction we have, or negative 4 to get hit. So as we can see, negative 4 did not get hit because there was really not that much liquidity to grab up here. Um, I knew that negative 2.5 would be a good reversal spot because we had AM high here and we had just taken out Asia from that news candle. So I'm waiting for my reaction off of AM. Now, you don't just directly enter as soon as, or you don't just put a limit order here at AM high and hope for the best. I mean, realistically, you could have and made like your 50 points, 40 points here, but there's no entry confirmation. So now that I've drawn out my 5 minute fib and I know what my bias is for the day, I'm looking for a New York reversal. I'm going to wait for New York to open and create kind of somewhat of a range. Now, as we can see here, my mechanical model itself is a fake sweep, a retracement, and I enter off of depending on the reaction. So as you can see, we broke this high, broke that high first. Then we ended up sweeping out these lows, whatever, you get the memo. Sweeping out those lows. We took out these highs first. We swept these lows. That is for me, a bearish structure. Then I'm going to take my fib from the wick to the wick. So I could take it from right here down to this level here. And that gives me my 618. 618 is my OTE, or my optimal trade entry. So I wait and see for this. I wait for this to pull back. So let's say, for example, okay, well, in retrospect, this looks easy, but in live market, how am I going to do this? Let's say your low gets taken out right here and it keeps dropping. I would just keep dragging my fib to wherever it is at its lowest leg, at the lowest point of the leg. Take that and you get your 0.618. You could sometimes enter off 50% of this range. However, it's not as effective depending on your situation. Now, on a trade like this in AM, I'm going to look for a strict entry confirmation because I know I only risk 12 and a half points on every trade. So I know I have to be precise. So I'm looking for some sort of reaction off of 618. Now, once I saw that we did not break through this 12 and a half point range, I ended up entering directly on 618 on this black candle here, or bearish candle, whatever. I ended up entering right there and caught my 50 points. I could have held this, but with how much wicks we had this morning, I was honestly expecting us to chop for the rest of this time. I knew we were going to end up coming back down and taking these lows and kind of rebalancing this higher time frame leg, because on the 4 hour, you could see that we had just swept all of these highs and we still have this low here. We still have these lows. So realistically, I would expect us to be bearish, and then we have these highs above us, obviously. Um, so dropping back down to the 1 minute, I walked you guys through my entry, the specific model. Let me show you guys the fib settings I use. Once again, I have this in a couple of videos, but you can pause this, take a screenshot. This is what my fib retracement settings are. This is important because if it's on default, it's just going to look like a rainbow. Um, but yeah, so that was my trade of the day. I also had 355 levels. If you don't know what that is, you can go on your indicators. This is some sauce that people don't really tell you. 3:55 p.m. candle high and low levels. These are crazy levels. If you know how to use these with discretion, these are insane entry confirmations because you can pair this with the fib. And then what you could have also done is taken your fixed range volume profile here and determine, okay, this is our value area high and this is our point of control. Now that I know that we are dumping off of this value area high here, this is perfect. This is perfect confirmation using the volume profile tool with the Fibonacci retracement. And then you could even, what I use is book maps, but you can use order flow for extra confirmation. And you have four different things. You have negative 2.5 right here. Very common reversal spot. That lines up directly with previous day AM high, as you can see at 444. That ended up being within 10 points of high of day. So always, 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 when you wake up in the morning and you hop on the charts, hop on the 5 minute, start marking out the first London leg. So in this scenario, it would be a bullish leg. Right after London ends, we have this range here on the 5 minute. Delete this stuff. So I drew my fib from the low of this point on this wick up to this on the 5 minute. And that gave me my negative 2.5, which actually was right on AM high. So that should about wrap it up. I went over the 355 levels. I'll make more videos on volume profile and basically what auction market theory is and these levels and how you can use them. But that's the trade recap for the day. Stay tuned for more videos. I'll be posting these pretty much daily.